Okay, it is 6:30 on my end anyway. So I'm gonna start talking. I don't really have much to say. Um, I was kind of hoping that this might be kind of short, but I'll answer any questions that anyone has along the way, and I'll just. It's sort of. I guess my thought was to sort of. I have a little bit of a presentation that I'm just gonna kind of run through about the behind the scenes of some of the stuff that we did for Blood Ties. So I'm kind of waiting for a few people to come on. I see that we have Faith in the chat, Annie in the chat, and Max in the chat. Sorry you can't stay for very long, Annie, but I hope you get to see as much as you want to. I don't know. Uh, and I'll be posting maybe like an edited version of this later. Meanwhile, just enjoy the pretty pictures as Faith is already saying she enjoys. Um, one, oh, you're saying you don't know which one is being tossed. I believe Henry is the one that is going over Noah's shoulder in that photo. I don't know if I can pull up that one directly, but it'll come around again. Okay, well, why don't we get started? Well, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I should wait for a couple more minutes. Also, I kind of slapped this whole thing together really quickly, so there's going to be a bit of jank, and sorry that there's like no background music or anything. So it's going to be pretty quiet as far as streams go. Okay, let's get this party started. Let me quickly see if I can do this. Hello, everyone. My name is Josiah Poling, and I am the director of Blood Ties, a Star Wars short film that um, I made with my buddies, Noah Wolst. No, not Noah Wolston. I'm getting their names mixed up. Noah Holston and Henry Wolston. You can see why I was doing that. Together, the three of us produced the film, and I directed it, and the other two gentlemen were the leads, and in fact, the only characters in the film. So, um, we made this a film for the lightsaber choreography competition, or at least that was what it was formerly known as. It's Saber Comp these days. Um, and we were very fortunate to have placed second place overall and get top or first place audience choice, as well as just getting best VFX and best editing. So we were really happy with those results from the contest. And I thought I'd just come on here and share a little bit about some of the mostly what I have behind the scenes footage of, because we didn't get very much, um, is of the choreography sessions itself. Kind of after each choreography session, we filmed what we had done for the day, and so I'm pretty much just going to show you like final clips, but it will kind of show sort of the thought process of how we choreographed some of the fighting, and just how we kind of planned out some of the production. So we don't really have a lot of behind the scenes footage of that, which I'm kind of sad about, but I'm going to do my best to sort of describe why I'm showing you the clips I'm showing you. So let's see. What do we switch to now? I think I want to go to my screen over here. There we go. And before I get started, obviously, this is spoilers for the film. I have the final film way over here in the timeline, and so I will be referencing certain aspects of the film as well as just going through some of the clips that I've picked out. So, the first bit I'm going to show you is actually what we filmed the very first day of choreography, or maybe it was the second day, I'm not sure. Coming into this film, Henry and Noah sort of, we all kind of came up with the concept and had some back and forth, but we weren't sure we were going to make it, or I wasn't sure if I was going to really be a part of it. But Henry and Noah decided to just go ahead and start choreographing, and then I kind of decided that, yeah, I'm doing this project and I'm making it. And so that's kind of the first day is when we all sort of came together, put our heads together early one morning, and started work on choreography, knowing that we were going to try and make this film. So I might just play this clip and then describe what, if anything. There's kind of two clips back to back here, so I'll skip to this first one. And this shows just kind of like the first section of the fight. So, I guess for you guys in chat, maybe let me know if you would rather see the final film or the choreography first. I was kind of planning on just showing you the choreography and then showing you kind of how it progressed and then showing you the final film at the end. But it might be kind of confusing that way, so let me know. But I think for this first section, I'll just go ahead and hit play. And once I get my earbuds in so I can hear what you guys are all going to hear. Let's see. Testing quickly. Oh, here we go. I'm going to unmute it for you guys. And okay, I cannot hear what is going on, but that I think is my fault. Okay, well, I just won't be able to hear. So I shouldn't have done what I did, because my DaVinci Resolve is what I'm using to kind of preview everything for you guys. So it has some weird audio mapping issues that, not weird, they're just complex and advanced, and I don't fully understand them. So I'm just going to do this without listening to the audio. Okay, so I'll just play this first clip. So first day, you could see there's a lot of like missing and and kind of sloppy. Noah here, pictured in the center. He has some. Oh, you guys don't hear the video either, really. Let me back up. Let me double check. Oh yeah, you're right. No, the video isn't playing at all. Why is it not playing? Oh, hello. Audio. Sorry, I'm doing a little bit of troubleshooting here. There we go. Now you guys should be hearing the video. Okay. And I hope it's not too loud. Let me know. Yeah, so Noah, you can tell he has quite a bit more like stance. And Henry, we were working on that with him. But they're both in karate / martial arts of some sort. And so it was actually really easy to work with these guys. And you can see that kick was way off. And we were kind of trying to figure out how to smooth it all together. So this is literally the first day of practice. Let me turn that down for you guys. Okay, there we go. A little bit later, this next clip is the same set of choreography, just after a little bit more practice, but like only like 2 more days, and from the opposite angle. And this is the part of the film, where he gets. Actually, let me replay that. We initially were going to have Henry, who plays Xander, hit Noah and have him totally have him fall over from the hit. And later we changed that. But that was kind of the original idea. And again, let me know if you guys want to see what this looks like in the final. I was going to kind of skip to the next bit of choreography that we filmed, and then kind of at the end show you the final. But I can mess with that flow if you really want to see it. So, next clip I have is the next bit of the fight. So Noah is on the ground, and then Henry calls him a coward and then rushes at him. And yeah, this is what we kind of first choreographed for that, which is, it's very similar to the final. It's just a lot rougher, obviously. Okay, ready. Awesome. And you can see right there, we started working in the idea that Henry would have arm guards, and that is that first block of the arm guard, kind of reveal section of that. And I'll just play the next clip because it's kind of the same section. Jump. And then a fein. And a lot of this we did really slow at first, just to get it down, because yeah, as you can see, they would have totally hit each other if they were going fast.
And then Henry's on the attack in action. So somehow he gets into this position, and then Noah's gonna throw him. Somehow, after a little strong action.
Let me back that one up.
So somehow he gets into this position, and then Noah's gonna throw him. Somehow, after a little struggle. There we go.
So yeah, this clip we were playing around with the idea of that flip. We had just oh yeah, he was gonna force pull the lightsaber up and use both of them. Wow, that's different.
And something to that effect. That's what we figured out.
Yeah, we had been playing with this idea. So here's this whole section after Noah's on the ground, but a little bit faster. This is probably like a week or 2 into choreography.
Fein, and then yeah.
And as you can see, the intensity and the distance that they need to be was a little funny. You know, like some of the strikes, they have to pull it, and then of course this like overhead, yeah, that didn't work.
Boom, right? Then you push off. Boom. And then we're here. I I step in and I start turning you here.
Oh, that's my
And
problem. I have the wrong foot. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow, yeah.
And then I need to either curve around or you need to not move your head so much. One of the two. I mean.
So it took actually quite a long time to sort of get that the overhead kind of maneuver figured out, because for a while it was pretty awkward. I'm gonna say to like it was just really awkward uh, to get to that position because a sword fighter wouldn't let another sword fighter get behind him like that, and so it was kind of that was I think the most getting into that position with the saber up at Noah's neck with Henry around him, kind of holding it on his arm guard right here. Um, that was kind of the like furthest stretch that we let our choreography go, because a lot of times I've noticed, having done helped on I will say a lot of the lightsaber choreography films, um, that I've noticed that it's it's really easy if you practice wrong to then have wrong moves come out of it, because it's like because as you're at least how I do choreography, it's like, okay, let's just practice this, and then when we get to a dead spot, and this kind of answers your question, Annie, um, we'd all kind of just bang our heads together and say, okay, what feels natural to happen next, when we've come to a spot that we haven't choreographed yet. And um, so if you've been practicing wrong and you end up in this, like, they're way too close or they're in this weird position from the last move that you did, and you're practicing kind of without any sort of, it's not necessarily practicing without speed, but it's like envisioning what the speed is going to eventually be, you end up choreographing moves that are awkward, really awkward for the actors to pull off. And so I would say for the most part, um, I was heavily involved in the choreography. To answer Annie's question, which she said, were the actors coming up with most of the choreography, or was it me as the director? Um, so I would say that I was doing most of it, but to a certain extent, I didn't have. I mean, there was a couple of times I grabbed up a lightsaber and tried to help, but I was just seeing it from the outside, and I wasn't one of the fighters in the fight, and so it was actually kind of hard to. It was kind of hard to imagine. Like, I saw a cool move, or let's say, and I was like, okay, Henry, you go like this or whatever, and then they would try and pull it off in front of me, and it was kind of like it just didn't work uh because I wasn't there. I wasn't physically making the movements, and so it was like, oh, what I was asking them to do was you have their arms on the other side and their stance totally opposite, their footwork and everything. So it was obviously a huge collaboration with all three of us. Um, so I can only take credit for 30%, 33% of the choreography, because the other guys did it, and actually even less than that, because I can even show you. I think you saw it in one of the clips. Here we go. This clip, yeah. So my sister back here, Sister Lizzie here, younger sister, she helped a bunch because she's also in martial arts and I am not, and so I'm just doing what looks cool and not what is actually like technically right. And then later you'll see someone in the background that helped a lot on some of the arm guard fighting stuff, because um, yeah, he's definitely, well, he's a third degree black belt, and so I really appreciated his input on that section when it came to hand stuff, and even some of the sword fighting stuff. And he helped the guys really improve their stances, because some of this early stuff was a little funny. Like, Henry is pulling his blows a little bit, and Noah isn't quite as like, they're way too close right here, I would say. Okay, let's move on to just some more of this. I think we were still figuring out how to do the neck rotation piece.
Okay, yeah, and he's there. And then Noah gets flipped, or not.
And
Henry
Noah
gets
is
flipped.
such a goofball, so he's always doing fun stuff.
Yep.
Oh, so we're moving on to the next bit where we need to choreograph what happens
that one's
while Henry is on the ground. Which that got changed up a bit because in this
and
one
then
he just
go into
stands up,
there,
but in
there,
the final film
block,
he blocks
over,
a couple
punch,
moves
punch.
on the ground. And then that's the start of that hand punch section. And you could already see, I think they were talking about it, but since I can't hear, it's probably hard to make sure I'm talking when they're not talking. But we had the idea of him force pulling the saber and Noah totally like whacking it out of the way. What section is this? Oh, this is right after. Oh no, this is right before. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just more practicing on
So
that.
he's
Okay, so this little clip right here, this is choreographing the very end of what I'm gonna call the first fight, or actually no, it's the second fight. So first fight is this one, kind of like from the beginning all the way to Noah kicking him and him rushing in and putting Noah on the ground. And then second fight is all the way from the ground where he says coward.
Okay, ready.
All the way to this moment, which is him coming in with the lightsaber.
He slips down.
And
goes for a punch. There's struggle.
Somehow
the saber's coming into
punching
his
him
face,
in the chin,
and then
which we hadn't figured out yet.
Under,
and then knocking him up against a tree.
Back into the tree.
Which
and
is
then,
an imaginary tree
aggressive,
in this
exciting stuff.
choreography space. So that's the second fight, starting from him saying coward and then going all the way up to the tree. And then the third fight is kind of the last little section where Noah is saying what he's actually what is his enemy. It's kind of the epic part of it. Okay, so I think that concludes the second fight with this movement here.
So he's blocking the lightsaber. He slips down, goes for a punch. There's struggle. The saber's coming
and I know
into
we
his
already
face.
watched this, but
and
I'm
then
going through again.
up, under, and back into the tree.
Okay.
And then aggressive, exciting stuff.
And I believe this next clip is the whole second fight. So this is him saying coward and then rushing Noah all the way up to the tree. And they wanted, that the actors really wanted to go all the way through so that they knew every section of it and what came next. I'm not going to lie and say that I knew what was happening pretty much when it got to shooting day. I was clueless. I was just kind of like, what happens next? And I really relied on their memory of the choreography because I pretty much lost what specific move is supposed to happen next. Like there was a lot of just like, do that last one again. And then they were like, which last one? This one and that one. And then I'd be like, I think the second one. So I'm not going to say I'm great at remembering choreography that I'm not a part of. Because I have been in a couple of the lightsaber films, and it's when you are one of the actors, it's a lot easier than when you're like seeing it from the outside. So I have a lot of respect for the directors that I've worked with when I was an actor I'm going to say. When I was talent, I don't know, when I was on screen. Because, man, it is hard to keep up with the actual choreography. Like, on the choreography days, I could keep up because we were choreographing it all together. But once we got to shooting, no way, Jose. So I think I'm going to just be quiet and let you guys watch them practicing all the way through. So this is the entire second fight. And so I'll just mute myself so that can happen.
And action. Nice.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is actually the first fight. Is just where that ended. So. Oh, and quick pause. in the background, you see Brendan. He's the person I was mentioning that really helped with the arm guard section. And as you can see, Henry's wearing padding, and so is he because they were really going at it with the lightsabers to figure it out. Anyway, sorry for that aside. Let's continue.
A tool roll. It comes here.
Pick it up. You know, that whole deal.
Yep.
And this is the second fight.
Turn 90 degrees. Overhead.
There's still a lot of like figuring out that has to be done, and also this barn space that we were in was not big enough to host the movement that I really wanted, and that we worked on a whole bunch to get a lot of like ground traversal. That was one of the things I really wanted as a director. Oh yeah, and you can see we changed how he was going to be on the ground. And then this is the fist fight part that Brendan choreographed. So back to what I was saying, yeah, the barn was not big enough, and so we had a lot of like go, 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 and then reposition. I think there's one coming up right here where it's like there just was not enough space for Henry to jump back, so they shift around and then redo it. And I think it was literally, I'm going to pause it right there, literally this evening when we came up with the idea of the lightsaber turning off and that being the thing. So him catching it on his arm guard. Oh, wait, right before this. Excuse me. There we go. Him catching it on his arm guard right here, and then the lightsaber turning off being the thing that punches him in the chin. And so that was kind of something I concepted, but then something that Brendan really like took 100% and put it into, like kind of figured out how to get them in that position. And then, of course, the two guys being our two leads just being on board with all of it and throwing in their own ideas.
Woo! Nice.
If only I didn't forget half.
Good guy. That was great.
And oh boy, it's practicing all of that in one go. I guess I was pausing it a lot, but that is a lot of work, and they were really sweaty. So that's the other bonus to this is it's a great workout, which I'm glad I didn't have to do that because I didn't want to work out. Okay, this next clip is the start of the third fight. So I know I'm just kind of rushing through choreography and not really showing any clips of the final film, but I can compare some of those things later. Or maybe, well, since we just watched the first and second fight, let me just play the first and second fight in the final film, and you can see how they like really improved. So that's, again, all the way from Noah on the ground at the very beginning to the first fight is just him on the ground again. So right here, when he gets like tripped, because that's what we changed it to. I think Brendan helped us change that from a punch to Henry actually tripping him, using his leg to sort of trip him. And then all the way up through to the tree. So that is, I'm going to turn down the audio of the film and then skip to that section. So right here, and I will unpause. So something we really thought about, I'm just going to pause it there, is moments. So I really wanted this moment where Henry gets kicked right here, and he looks up and he he kind of rushes back in because he's the villain. And so I tried to infuse a lot of moments that we didn't necessarily practice in choreography because that's something that I drew out in the edit. But yeah, this moment was definitely like the first big one I really wanted. Okay, and that concludes the first fight. It's very short. And I did that on purpose. My thought as a director was to kind of show that Noah's character in Red, he doesn't want to fight, and so Henry just coming straight at him with the red and rushing in. Let me mute you guys. There we go. Actually, hold on. Sorry, guys. There we go. Yeah, so Henry rushing in was just sort of supposed to be pretty intense, like he's not expecting it, and then we have this battle, and I really thought about, I wanted Henry to be on the aggressive this whole time, which I don't know why it's not playing smoothly, so I'm just going to back up a little bit. So Henry in the white is on the aggressive the whole time, so he's pushing Noah back with all these moves, and then this is the first time Noah kind of strikes out with his foot, and I wanted that to be met with kind of like, oh, you really want to play that game, kind of from Henry, and that's why that is a moment, because we thought about who was attacking and who was retreating the whole time. Like that was something I really thought about when I was choreographing this with the guys. Okay, so this fight ends with Noah on the ground, and then they have a little bit of dialogue, and Noah sits up, and Henry says, "Coward," and strikes the ground. And I'll back up a little bit and let you guys watch that in the final film. And this one's a bit longer, so, but yeah, we already watched the choreography for that anyway. So this section, right at the start, I wanted it to be that Noah is on the aggressive, finally. So this whole bit, he decides to just go right at it and make Henry back up. Back. That was kind of the thought of this move. And then Henry pulls out his arm guard, which is kind of like, an extra upper hand moment. And again, a little moment right here, a little pause, before Noah's still on the aggressive. Or offensive, I guess, until this moment when he's backing up. And then we get to that part, which that was kind of interesting. We, to try and figure it out, we just had them in this position, and then had Henry kind of like twist him around, and there is like one frame, I think, right here where he tosses the saber onto the ground. Hopefully that's caught in the actual final thing. Oh, you're pointing out the one roto mistake we did in the first fight at the very end of the first one right here. I think is what you're saying, right? S40, where I think it's the shot right when Noah gets knocked to the ground. Right here. So in this shot, we have Noah has blue and Henry has red, right? And this is the one goof that I did. Noah has red and Henry has blue for this one shot. It is not supposed to be like that. That is definitely a big goof. Okay. Yeah. So, this moment was kind of interesting. We got some dialogue from Henry. And then we wanted to do this cool stunt, which up until this point on shooting day, we didn't actually ever do it. So I think we did it 3 times. There's only 3 takes of the throw. It might only be 2, and this is either the first or second one. Um, and we did not want to do it very much because there was no pad for Henry. This isn't any digitally altered or anything like that. He just went full flip here. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna back up. Not that far. And again, I just worked in some moments in the edit. Like, this is much more of a moment than it was in practice. Same with this moment right there. And this one. Where it's like, in practice, the 2 guys didn't, like, they just kind of sped through most of the time, and then it was just on set we were like, okay, slow that down for each shot that we were doing. Yes, we have a novice, and that is only because I know the right people. It's not at all because of my own I don't know, accolades. But yeah, that's really cool you noticed that. And of course, this moment right here. And this moment where he gets pushed up against the tree, this was actually like one of the original ideas that I had when I was envisioning the script. I'm like, oh, it would be so cool to have like a moment where you're being threatened with a lightsaber that isn't even on. Like, make the lightsaber threatening. And I think I could have done a better job of it in this film, but I wanted the hilt to be used as a weapon. So it's the thing that hits him in the face, and it's also the thing that's up against his throat. Like, it could kind of go off at any second, if Noah so chose for that. Okay, so that is the second fight, and I'm just gonna back it up and start on the third fight. I think that's what this is.
He walks away, he drops Xander's saber. Xander picks it up. He has some dialogue. Noah force pulls his saber to him gracefully. And Xander gets really angry and he goes for a run, dodge, and then a swipe for the legs, and a dive roll. So there's some dialogue here, and then Xander gets angry again and goes for a big leap-de-loo. And then, yeah, what happens after that? There we go. Yeah, there. Saber ignites, blocks it there. Some dialogue and a pushback. Yeah.
And as you can see, we had no space to keep backing up because I think the rest of this fight is they just keep going back and back and back. Do I have anything to say about that? Other than we were just going really slow and like we didn't really know what we were doing, but it seemed pretty good. Because in the final film, this distance right here that Noah walks away actually caused some problems in the edit because we made it so much larger in the final film, and so I don't know. So we had some dialogue there that had to be cut because it didn't quite work with the timing of the edit and where Noah needed to be in 3D space and how we shot it and stuff. And so that was kind of one of the roughest parts of the edit for me when I was editing it. When we actually shot it and stuff, was kind of how to figure that section out. So I'll just move on though. So this is the same, a bit of choreography with Noah walking away from Henry at the tree, just after we had figured out way more of it and they had been practicing, and so it's a little bit more full speed, I think. And also we thought of some really cool camera moves that didn't end up in the final. Okay, so this is the part. I'm just gonna back it up a little bit. This is the part where we totally changed the ending like 2 days before we shot, I think. Maybe it was more than that, but it was like we were doing the location scouts and everything at this point, and we hadn't quite figured out the ending just yet. And so this is kind of an alternate ending, um, which I still really want to do because it's kind of cool. It was just like too, it was too much. Like it was too bad. I'm gonna say for the villain. So I'll just shut up and watch you guys, or let you guys watch this. Maybe I'll even turn up the audio a little bit for the video. Oh, yeah, that works. Zoom. There we go. So, let me walk through that a little bit. I think we have another clip of it, but um, yeah. So basically, the idea was to have him throw the saber like a spear and impale Noah, and then like use the force and pull it out, and then he was gonna like walk up and sort of act like he was gonna chop his head off or something with both blades, sort of like Dooku style, or Anakin Dooku. And then but I don't know, it just made Henry too bad. Even though in the film he was supposed to, like, Vane was just supposed to die, or Noah's character was just supposed to fall over, and then we were gonna leave Henry just all conflicted, um, like with the two lightsabers, because that was something that all three of us guys really thought would be a cool image, is the villain with the two lightsabers, and he's looking at the red one and the blue one. Oh, excuse me. He's looking at the red one and the blue one, and he's like trying to decide which side of the force he's gonna like eventually end up on, because he just killed his brother. Um, but unfortunately, we couldn't figure out a way for Noah to turn around at this point right here. Like we wanted Henry to sort of like force pull Noah's saber out of his hand when it like ignites or something, or maybe it's just a hilt. I'm not sure. We didn't ever really get that far, but we didn't really have a good plan of how Noah ends up turned around so he can be stabbed right here. But it was still a really cool idea, and I think we filmed another version of it before we got to the final version, and I'll just play that for you guys right here. Comes in for a slash, he jumps it, then the camera passes through as he says an epic line.
My enemy.
And then we do, yeah, epic.
Rain is my enemy.
Blocks there.
And I just throw you down.
Except for without the
Father's my enemy, but you have never.
you've never been my brother. Yeah, you've always been my brother. Although we talked about putting the line in after the kick.
Right.
Okay, then he goes.
I can throw it too.
Yeah, he spins up. He force pulls the saber,
And your turn to throw.
throws it, lodges in his chest. He falls. He pulls it back, and then walks up to him. And when you say something.
I love you, brother.
The end. Dun dun dun. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Would that have made a better ending? To cut to like a wide shot with Noah on the ground and Henry like sort of standing over him, like, what did I just do? I don't know. Up for you guys to decide. But I just think it made Henry's character a little too vicious. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so let me play. Yeah, let me just play the ending. I think, the last fight for you guys, so you can see what the final looked like. With that choreography, and again, I stretched a lot of the moments out, that I wanted. Like this shot is in slow mo, and there's a few shots that are just like a lot of things were extended at this point. But this is also a really quick fight. I don't know if you can see the timeline up here, but I kind of marked the fight. So this is the first fight is in red in the first chunk over here. And then the second fight goes all the way through here with the arm section at this marker. And then the third fight is here in red. And so it really, the fights are very disproportionate. At first I kind of wanted them to be like short, longer, really long. But it kind of ended up with the long one in the middle, which is kind of cool. I don't know. It's kind of interesting to see how much fighting there isn't in the film. Like if this is the film's whole runtime, then and these are just the little fights, these little sections here. That's pretty crazy to me. Anyway, I will stop talking and let you guys watch the final version of the end fight.
Fear is my enemy. Rage is my enemy. Father is my enemy. But you have always been my brother.
And that was it. The third fight. That's all it was. Also, hi, Knights of the Silver Moon. Thanks for stopping in. I was just about to show the best part of the live stream, so you're here at the right time. And for all of you who had to leave early, I'm sorry you're not getting this message because you're not here. I showed you like choreography bits of throughout our practice. I didn't really capture a lot of our sessions, but we just kind of filmed after each one. So basically, this is just kind of the best ones that I edited out for you guys. The best part is when we did a location scout. Okay, here I'll just show it. So this is footage of the location. We did a location scout, and we were trying to sort of map out in our heads what the environment, like what 180 the camera needs to be on for different sections of the fight. And so I came up with the idea to just film it. Like we had like an hour or maybe an hour and a half before the light went away, and I was just like, I have my phone, and we'd done all these choreography things, just me filming on my phone basically the whole time. And so I just said, let's shoot it like we would. So my phone has this cool feature. I don't think I can show it because it won't work, but basically it has this cool feature where when you're recording, here, let me just hit record on there. So there's a little record button right there. There's also a little pause button in right there. So now I have it paused, and then I can record it again, and it'll start recording. So what you guys are about to see is a video, like a temp version of the movie. Let's call it like a stunt viz that that I just filmed like that. Like we filmed all in sequence. I was recording, and then I hit pause, and then I moved to the next shot, and then I hit unpause, and the action continued. I did a little editing in post here to make it flow a little smoother than my final phone video, than the actual file is. But honestly, I didn't do much. Towards the end, I messed up the record function, and so I didn't capture the whole film, but it's a pretty sizable portion, and I just thought that that would be really fun to share. So, without further ado, let me transition back to this screen, and I will play the movie. And for those who haven't seen the movie, this is like almost like a shot for shot remake here without music or any special effects, obviously. Okay, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to turn up the volume and I'm going to just hit play.
Brother, you disappoint me. Zed, what are you doing?
Care to explain this? I don't know what's more pathetic. Your attempt at deception. Weak side of the force.
I found a way to be free from Father and his horrible deeds.
Father has handed us a chance to rule the galaxy as a family. Does that mean nothing to you? I really should tell Father about this. His response will be immediate execution. His response will be immediate execution.
I don't know, except for not this. Uh-oh.